we call the Twilight Zone.
Steve Kerr, and you look at Steph and Clay, and even Draymond with his lack of.
Is it 2 in a row? 7 points for him. The twirling Doncic. Melting into the defense. The front Curry strikes. Swing, fly ball. Well hit left center. Robert Acuna is over. Rookie rushing record for the Steelers.
Look, he came into this game averaging 3.67 yards per carry. 42nd out of 49 qualified rushers.
To begin the third quarter. It has been incredible. Here he comes again. Oh, goodness. And a Greek basketball god. And he was a great guy that teaches the
What is up, Rally Towel fam? Good evening. Welcome to the show. Ring 'em up. Todd, Bobby, what's going on?
We out here, baby. We out here. We're out here shucking and jiving, talking baseball, giving out the old baseball movie draft. I'm super stoked for that one. I think that's going to be
Yes,
that's going to be a real treat for the people. I think before we get into all of the kind of what the meat and potatoes of tonight are going to be, let's talk about the World Baseball Classic. Let's talk a little bit about that. Ooh. I know you and I were up at the ass crack of dawn this morning, watching,
trying to get it in.
Yeah, watching Japan and China for the first game for each of those teams in the World Baseball Classic. If for those that don't know, Australia kind of shocked the World Baseball Classic yesterday and beat Korea, which was a big deal. That was kind of one of the favorites to make it pretty deep into the World Baseball Classic. And then this morning we got to witness the 2023 debut of Shohei Ohtani.
And he did not disappoint.
He did not disappoint.
He continues to do otherworldly things when it comes to just playing the game of baseball. But Todd and I both kind of we literally messaged each other at the same time. And it was when Ohtani takes a 100-mile-an-hour fastball in on the hands, takes it the opposite way. This is a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that is taken the opposite way, almost for a home run. He got complete barrel on the bat. We both know, we understand the mechanics behind how he did it. We just don't know how he did it. If that makes any sense. He's the only man on the planet that can do that. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
So let me break it down. A stat that they provided in game that I thought really provides the impact of what Ohtani does for professional baseball. Yeah. And his first appearance of the 2023 baseball season, let's include the World Baseball Classic, and that is spring training's going on. Sure. He threw a fastball over 100 miles an hour 3 times and hit a baseball with an exit velocity of 110 miles an hour today.
Ridiculous.
There is nobody else in the game today that is doing that or that has ever done that. Nobody's ever been capable of doing that at the level that he does that. So I think that's the kind of the greatness that we're witnessing here is him probably just continuing to completely exceed my expectations on what he's able to do as a professional athlete.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this shortly before we went live. If this guy is going to be playing in a town close to you, buy a ticket, go see him.
You have to.
You're never going to see another person like this play the game of baseball. You're just not going to see it. You're not going to see a guy that's going to dominate both ways.
Nope.
Pitching and hitting. You're never going to see it again.
No,
we've never seen it like this before. We'll never see it again.
We're going to have to look at the Reds, Guardians, and Pirates schedule and see which one makes the most sense for us to go and watch him play. See if we can try to catch him. I don't know if we'll ever get the opportunity to line up exactly when he'll be pitching and go. Maybe we would just buy a slew of tickets and then sell the rest of the ones that we don't go to or whatever. But I want to see him. I want to see him pitch. Obviously, I've never seen. You got to see him play last year. I haven't had the opportunity to see him play in person yet.
Got to see him up in Cleveland. Unfortunately, he went 0 I didn't get to see really any. He hit some balls hard. He hit some balls hard. Not to take away anything that he did that day. He went 0 for 3, and Angels did not play well. So
No.
it was a all around bad game for LA. But yeah, I mean that's the first time I've seen him, and it sure as hell will not be the last. So definitely looking forward to more of that. Big quick shout out to the guys last night, Generous Degenerates. If you guys aren't watching that podcast, go watch it. You guys would have made some money today on golf. I'm just telling you that right now. If that's your thing, they were hot. They made a lot of good picks. And the TPC popped off today as well, which that was a lot of fun to watch. I got to catch a little bit of that while I was at work. But yeah, so big shout out to Corey Derry for holding it down last night. Now, Todd, our baseball movie draft. I don't know if we've done this before, right? But it was a long time ago.
I think it was pretty early. It was really like in the first 4 or 5 episodes that we did this.
This was almost over a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In a minute. So definitely looking forward to getting this draft back in here. We're gonna do 4 rounds. Then we'll have honorable mentions, or there'll be a few of those for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But Todd, go ahead and lead us off, my dude.
Let's do rock, paper, scissors. Let's make it fair. I don't want to steal the number 1 overall pick. That's the most fair thing with 2 people we can do is do rock, paper, scissors. Just one time. We're not doing best out of 3. Let's not get out of hand here.
I had to put my rally cap on. All right.
Rules of the game: rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Then you flash your hand.
So rock, paper, scissors, bam, shoot.
Yep.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, then we reveal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm down. Let's do it.
None of this Philly fake out bullshit people are trying to pull into the world. And if you're listening, this will be 100% legitimate. There's not going to be any psych outs here. This is a game of respect between Bobby and I.
Absolutely.
So, you ready?
Yep.
Hand out. Ready to go.
Get ready from. All right, ready?
Rock. All right, well, hold on. Let's start over.
I'll just go on your count.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What you got? All right. That's fair. Little scissor action. I'll take the L this time around.
You always got to be scissoring, man. All right. You thought I was gonna try to big dog you and go rock. So I did.
I did.
I did.
I did. You psyched me out. I for sure thought you were going rock there.
You're like,
I thought maybe
I'd put a show on for the people. He's going rock.
Thought I could swoop in with a little paper action there, but you got me.
All right. I mean, okay. First pick. I don't think this is too terribly difficult of a decision for me. It's Sandlot.
See,
number 1.
It's the best movie of all time.
I almost thought about leaving that to you. That's kind of why I left you. Because I mean, I love the Sandlot, but I know you are like a giant Sandlot fan. So I am too.
Right.
I think you're a bigger fan than me, but I just can't disrespect it and let it slide to 2. It's got to be number 1. So,
Carp, what's up, Big Daddy? How you doing tonight, fella? Give us your top 5 baseball movies in the chat here, Carp. See where they rank out here between Bobby and I. Bobby got the first overall pick. He picked the timeless classic, The Sandlot. Can't really argue with him there.
First on my big board. So, Murmur, thanks for liking the video. What up? Declan, hello. Miss you.
hopefully that boy be sleeping here soon if he's not asleep already. So I think first movie for me, if I'm not going to get the opportunity to take The Sandlot, is The Rookie, a classic.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie. Bobby sent me like a week ago on TikTok the clip of when Jimmy Morris finds out that he's going into the big leagues, and he gets to call his son and tell him for the first time. And I fact checked that based on an interview that the real Jim Morris did when he found out that he was getting called up to the big leagues. And he basically said the setup was completely false, but the phone call was 110% true. He got the opportunity to call his son and tell him they
Hollywooded the moment up, but the most important part of that moment was true.
Yeah, I mean they Disneyed it a little bit. They made it cute. Angus T. Jones is the child actor in that movie. If there's your fun fact for that movie for the evening, he got to ask really cute questions, and they doctored it up a little bit. But he did say that part was true. That the first thing he did after he found out was he got to call his son and tell him, which as a parent, that's the fucking coolest thing in the world to hear that's what his reaction was. But obviously a very short-lived career for him after that.
And that's when the I'm not crying, you're crying. That's kind of how that whole thing proceeds. So, all right, Todd, on the back end or the first pick of round 2, what are you following up with the rookie?
Dude, it's got to be rookie of the year. I'm going back-to-back rookies here.
I like it.
Going rookie into first, start the second with rookie of the year. I think arguably one of the most quotable baseball movies of all time.
It is a fantastic film. Obviously, it's a kids movie, right? You love the the thought that you could be 12 and playing in the major leagues, but
for sure. But again, there's just so many great quotable moments within that movie.
Yeah, they have to.
They stick with you forever. I don't think I could sit here and rattle off 10 of them and bore the shit out of everybody. But it's a great movie. I think a lot. Obviously, I think historically, if you've watched this channel, I associate a lot of things with my childhood and the things that make me feel warm and fuzzy, and this is one of those for sure.
Hot ice. It's the best of both worlds, baby.
Hot ice.
You heat up the ice cubes.
Let's play some ball.
Okay. Second on my big board. I'm going Major League. Love this movie. It's about the Cleveland Indians. You got Wild Thing. I think one of my favorite things about the movie is Charlie Sheen, and not for the reasons that you probably think. It's just because his mechanics are phenomenal. I
think other than Costner, he has the best baseball mechanics I've seen in a movie.
So, yeah, I think it's a great all around movie. It's fun. It's hilarious. It's adult baseball, and it's Cleveland, and it's shoving it to the man, and you gotta love it. This one's tough for me because I have like 3 in my head that I want to do. Let's go. I'm gonna go Hardball.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Baby, Keanu Reeves. It's obviously
that's another tearjerker.
Yeah, that
another tearjerker there.
If you don't cry watching that movie, you don't have a soul.
God damn, that it strikes a chord in you that just digs deep.
Yeah, I mean when G Baby, that whole moment leads up to him. He hits the home run and wins his team the game, and then he gets shot that night. It's just God. Ugh.
Yeah,
I mean it all turns out to be a somewhat uplifting ending, but still, it's just a lot of sad things that get you to that moment. It's just tough, but
it's true.
But it's all about how the game of baseball can bring people together, and that's just what I love about it. So,
all right, so we're through your top 4, right?
That's 3.
That's 3. Sorry.
Yeah,
all right,
Major League and Hardball. You got the rookie of the year, and then you're going to be rounding out your squad here with the last 2 picks, and then I got to follow you.
I am. So for my pick here, I'm going for the love of the game. A little Kevin Costner action here
that is on my big board.
For those of you listening, obviously talking through the highs and lows, the glories and the pitfalls of his career as he's pitching, what seems to be the last game of his career and turns out to be a perfect game, and just getting to get introduced into the mindset of a pitcher just a little bit. I think there are some accuracies there that Kevin Costner has. I think Costner does a great job as an actor in any show that he does, is that he does an excellent job of getting into character and having just the cadences of the character that he's in, and having kind of the physical personality of the character that he is too. And I think he does a great job of that for the love of the game as a pitcher, kind of going through the motions. And, obviously I think the most iconic thing about that movie is his ability to just tune out the crowd, right? He gets dialed into just him and the catcher, and he clears out. He empties out his mind and just focuses on the game. And when he gets to the end of that perfect game there, and he tries to tunnel in, and he can't do it anymore. And that's kind of his recognition to himself that his career is coming to a close, is because of his ability not to be able to turn it off anymore. So
yeah,
it's an excellent movie. I think it's overall just a very well done baseball film too.
Yes.
A lot of accuracies within the movie itself. There's not anybody making diving catches where they're flying 15 feet in the air, or a shortstop's in deep left field and throwing somebody out at first base for the perfect game. So I appreciate the attention to detail for that movie too.
Yeah. Fun fact: John C. Reilly is his catcher.
That's right. John C. Reilly is his catcher. The have an excellent moment of him putting John C. Reilly to bed, being absolutely hammered. Pre-comedian John C. Reilly as well. This was him trying to get introduced into Hollywood. He was a serious actor at this. Yeah, he's a serious actor at this point in time in his career. Hilarious.
Absolutely.
I think if I'm going to round it out here, I got a couple in mind, but I went to two childhood movies, and I'm going to go 2 adult movies here to kind of wrap out my list here. And I'm going to go Moneyball. I'm going to go Moneyball here.
That's yeah.
I think, obviously there's not a ton of actual baseball being played in the game. There's enough that they show enough of it.
It's more so the other side of baseball.
Yeah. I think as a baseball fan, you learn a lot. As you get an adult baseball fan, excuse me,
right.
You start asking yourself more questions about how things work within the actual game itself, and how teams stay relevant to winning, or how teams pop up and win and pop off, very similar to what Oakland did for that short time frame, coming off of the monster early 90s that they had with McGuire, Canseco, Henderson, playing the Reds in the World Series in 90 and losing there. But I think it just does a great job of getting into the inner workings of running an organization, because at the end of the day, baseball is business, and you can't, if you got a budget, you got to stick to your budget. And I think it does a great job of displaying that.
Yeah. No, that was Moneyball's on my list. That was going to be my last pick to round out my team. So excellent choice. I mean, I'm honestly surprised it didn't go a little bit earlier, but there's a lot of nostalgia, that comes with this. That's probably why it slid down the list a little bit. Not taking anything away. Fantastic film. My last pick it's Angels in the Outfield. I love
great
movie.
one. Great
Love this movie. I grew up on it. It's Tony Danza, Danny Glover, a young JGL, just living it up. Going to baseball games. His dad doesn't want him. There's that whole dynamic. Watching that movie as a kid and watching it as an adult, I was more sad as an adult than I was as a kid.
I cried the first time I watched it as an adult.
I'm going to be honest with you, Ryan, I've never seen Summer Catch.
What?
Never seen it.
Great Cape Cod baseball movie. Cape Cod being arguably, I think it's still really, it's the biggest
is it on
collegiate.
Netflix?
Let me see.
Or Hulu or Peacock or something where I can watch this.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Apparently, I didn't see this.
You do. Summer Catch is it's a great movie. It's in my top 8 of baseball movies, I would say. That would have been that certainly would have been an honorable mention for me. Looks like it's really like rent only.
Okay.
But you can rent it on Prime or YouTube, whatever.
I have Prime.
Yeah.
I can watch it there.
You can rent it for $2.99 according to this.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Freddie Prinze Jr. also great mechanics as a pitcher.
I'll have to. I'll get back to you. I'll let you know. I trust you. You did it. So if you say he's got good mechanics, then yes, he does.
Yeah, he's got good mechanics. It's a good movie.
Honorable mention for me. I don't know how this is an honorable mention. Maybe. I think if there was more people in this draft, we would have been able to get a little deeper. Field of Dreams, should be drafted at some point. Yeah, with 2 people, it's kind of tough. If we had the whole squad on here, I think Field of Dreams goes pretty high.
I agree.
A League of Their Own, Tom Hanks.
Great movie.
Great baseball movie.
Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, beautiful film.
Those are like my two big honorable mentions. I do love Jessica Biel. So
I was Carp when I was going to come back and be like, even Shaggy is Freddie Prinze Jr.'s catcher. It's great. It's great.
Love that.
Yeah, it's great. You gotta watch. I'm surprised you never watched it. That is
he was in trouble with the curve, and he was the asshole.
Yep, he was. That is almost always on. I'm sure that if you have YouTube TV, you could probably look it up on YouTube TV, and it'll be on some sort of syndicate in the next 72 hours. Yeah. Oh yeah. Billy Brubaker. That's right.
All right. But I'll put that on my to-do list.
Yeah. Good. Another very good baseball movie. 42. Another honorable mention. I think that's unfortunately it's a little bit more sad now with
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman passing away, but solid movie there. See, look, Carp just said it too. 42 is a great one. Eight Men Out is a great historical baseball movie. I think that's one of those movies that if you understand why you're watching it, it's very good. But if you were to just pick a movie randomly and say because you want to learn more about baseball,
context,
yeah, you're like, what the fuck am I watching? What is this? Isn't about baseball at all, but it's arguably one of the top 10 most historic moments outside of off the field baseball moments. There's still a ton of good baseball movies.
There's a lot of good ones out there. With two people, it's tough. To hit all the big categories. I'm sure if I would have seen Summer Catch, Ryan, I probably would have had it in my list.
I think you'll like it.
I'm a sucker for movies like that.
It's the perfect 2000s movie.
Yeah, then I'll love it. I'll love it.
Yeah.
I'll just get my time machine, go grab a Surge and a bag of Lay's and just watch the shit out of it.
If you're interested in documentary of baseball, The Battered Bastards of Baseball on Netflix, that's a good documentary. Kurt Russell is a part of it. Kurt Russell's dad also a part of it. That was one of the first.
I saw that on Netflix, and I've been meaning to flip that on. I just haven't done it yet.
That was one of Netflix's first big, one of their films that they streamed on that had a huge cult following. Yeah, because it's 7 or 8 years old now. I watched that very in our early 20s. Yeah, so. It's a great show, or a great documentary.
I'm not gonna lie, Ryan. I do enjoy the right chick flick. I'm not gonna lie. I will sit there and I will get into it.
It is definitely a chick flick.
One of my favorite, what I would deem a chick flick, is Crazy Stupid Love with Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling. That movie is freaking hilarious.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, that Friends with Benefits, those style movies, I'm all about it. So
I'm one of those people that if Mary turns on, I'm like, oh, what are you turning that on for? But then I'm glued in. I'm glued in. Yeah, all the time. She calls.
You're just fucking. My phone's gone. I'm here.
Mary calls
me
out
here
on that all the time. Yeah, she'll call me out on that all the time. She'll be like, oh, I thought you weren't interested. I'll be like, shut up, Mary. Shut up.
Yeah, it's kind of if I'm back at my mom's house and she's got The Bachelor on or something like that, and I'm like, wait, why is he fucking around with Tiffany when he's got Stacy over here?
That's right.
And she's like, oh, you haven't even seen Miranda yet, and I'm like, who's Miranda? And then and then you're in, and then you're just in. It's over. It's over at that point because now you have to know. You got to find out all these. It's bad. All right, we've digressed. All right, well, let's get into the main course for the evening. We are going to be doing our all-star teams. I didn't know if we were doing all-star teams, if we were just doing our favorites, what our lineup would be if we had the choice.
Dude, I left it open for your interpretation.
Okay, cool. So we'll probably have some different shit then.
I think we will.
So, we're going to have some similar things. I honestly thought about just taking the entire Toronto infield because you really can, but I didn't. But yeah, we're going to start with the American League, and we're going to go catcher. We're going to roll through the infield. We'll hit the outfield, DH, and then we'll get into our pitchers. Starting with your catcher for the American League, Todd. Who do you got?
I got switch hitting catcher Adley Rutschman.
He is also on my big board.
I think he is the second most exciting young player in young hitting or young position player in baseball.
Well, the great thing about this year is he's actually going to be getting a full slate.
He's going to get a full. I mean, he got Rookie of the Year votes, and he played, not even a little bit over half this. Yeah, a little bit over half the season. I actually think that the Orioles have the opportunity to not be in last place in the AL East again. I think that's going to belong to the Red Sox this year because I think that the Red Sox are going to be absolute hot garbage. But I really like Adley Rutschman. I love his swing from both sides of the dish. I love how strong he is as a defensive catcher. The dude has great above average blocking ability, a little bit weaker side on the arm, but I mean, you give up some arm strength for a dude that has the potential to be a 30-30 guy. Like he very easily could do that this year, barring any injuries and, getting the at-bats. He's a guy that you can slide into the DH spot if he needs a break from catching, right? If you get 130 games in, the Orioles are making a push for a wild card spot, or Jesus, if they're somehow atop the AL East and, you want to save Rutschman's legs, you could throw him into a DH spot or even play first base, and he could take care of business there too. He's a really, really special talent. I think he's like I said, he's my second favorite young prospect in baseball. But I think that if you're not talking about him in the MVP voting this year, you're kind of crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just excited to see what this kid's going to do. For the American League.
Rob, what up, Rob?
What up, Rob? Thanks for liking the video, sir. Ryan says he's a new age Mike Piazza.
I think he might be a better hitter than Mike Piazza, though. For real, I really do believe that.
I mean, to play in the league today, you have to be a better hitter than Mike Piazza was. Just being straight up honest. The pitching today is not what it is. Way better than it was 20 years ago.
It's crazy, dude. His ability to turn on the ball from both sides is not. And something he was doing at the end of the year last year that I think really. It kind of solidified what I thought about him was he was hitting the ball opposite field, both sides of the plate. That is, It's hard enough as it is to be a dominant hand hitter and being able to do it, but he was doing it from both sides of the plate with power. I look for him to be a 30-30 guy. Look for him to be an MVP voting this year too in the American League, which is going to be that's a tough place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm just excited to see what he's gonna do. It's his first full season. Went with a lot of youth on the AL side. I think Rutschman, I think he's gonna have a fantastic season.
I agree.
First base, I've got Vladdy Jr. I don't think
interesting.
I don't really know if I might be sacrificing a little bit of the glove there, but I think Vladdy Jr.'s he's one of the best hitters. He could be your DH, but I want Vladdy Jr. in the field. I want that presence out there. He's not a complete liability in the field. I just have somebody better at DH. That's the only reason That's the only reason I've got Vladdy Jr. at first. Who do you have?
That's fair. I actually have Jose Abreu.
Okay.
Obviously signing with the Astros in the offseason, that's a much different lineup than the White Sox.
He's going to have a lot of protection in that lineup too.
I'm really interested to see how he fits around Altuve, Jordan, and Bregman and the heart of that lineup and what they're able to do with that. Because he's an MVP, right? Like he's a guy that has the ability to hit 35 to 40 home runs, knock in 100 plus runs. He's going to hit over 270 for you. Again, he's not going to wow you with the glove at first base. I mean, he's into his mid 30s now. This is really for him. This was an opportunity to go get a ring, which you thought. I think a lot of people thought Chicago was going to have a chance over the last couple of years. It just didn't happen. But I think Jose Abreu is one of the most consistent hitting players in baseball right now. He's a guy that doesn't really waver. He has the normal kind of strikeout to hit ratio that, the sluggers have in today's game. But I've just watched him over his career just be consistently on base and consistently hit in tight spots. And, now he's on a team that could win 100 games. So it's a big deal for him.
Yeah. I mean, the Astros they're perennial. I mean, at this point, they've been so good for so long. It's getting gross.
Yep.
But
they're outside of the cheating thing. It's almost borderline annoying how good they are consistently.
Yeah, I mean, and to be completely honest, they didn't need to cheat to win that series. They were the better team.
Yep.
The fact that there's a scandal tied to it makes the rest of it annoying. It'd be one of those things where we could look back and be like, damn, this was a phenomenal stretch. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Growing up, we had the Astros with, Bagwell and Lance Berkman and Craig Biggio. And, they were consistent. They were in the playoffs, but they were never like that upper echelon team.
No, it's because we grew up with the Derek Jeter Yankees.
Right.
And then the Red Sox right after that. We didn't get a chance to have, and even you sprinkle in the Mike Scioscia Angels teams of that time. The Astros just never had a chance. Even on the National League side, they just didn't have a chance.
I wonder when the last time the Angels didn't have somebody on their team with a last name that was a fish. I mean, did Tim Salmon and Mike Trout, did they overlap?
They did overlap. Yeah. Tim Salmon retired in 2011.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact. I'd love to know if anybody has that stat. I'd love to hear it. Sorry.
I love
Sidetrack.
That. No, I love that. I love that. I love it, man. That's a great little factoid there.
All right. Second base. Who's filling that spot for you?
Buddy, I got Andres Jimenez of the Cleveland Guardians.
Same. I am excited for this kid.
The boy is nasty. The boy is nasty. He was an all-star last year. Yep. Had some MVP votes last year. Plus,
he finally was a starter last year.
Yeah. So for anybody that's listening that doesn't know, Jimenez was an integral part of Lindor going from Cleveland to the Mets. He was kind of the centerpiece of the trade for the Guardians. They needed this guy. That was the only way that this trade was gonna go through. Andres Jimenez is a guy. We got to see him play for the Clippers a couple times a couple years ago before he got his call up, and I believe that was maybe like June or July of 21 because we got to see him play at least.
Yep, we went to a couple games that year.
Yeah, so dude, he's a special bat. He's a special glove. He's fast. I think he's a guy that will actually benefit from the enlarged bases, being able to steal extra bags. He was a 20 base stealer last year. I think he very easily could turn that into 30. He's not going to be a 300 hitter, but he is going to be a plus power second baseman, which I think is important to the Guardians. The Guardians are a team that needs runs when it's necessary. Obviously you need runs when it's necessary all the time. That's baseball, but they need him to be able to take care of Jose Ramirez and vice versa. And I think that these guys actually complement each other really nicely. So be on the lookout for this dude to just be an all-star every single year at second base. That's kind of where I'm at. I think that Altuve's, he's prime. He's had a great career. I don't want to take anything away from Jose Altuve, but this is the future of second base for the American League.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a guy that Cleveland will pay to stay too. He's one of him and Jose Ramirez are going to be the only two guys that they pay to stay.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're a Cleveland fan, right now you're excited. You're excited.
Carp said he's going 30-30. I don't think that's not out of the realm of possibility. It's really not.
No, I mean I could very easily see it happening. But I mean, Cleveland sports, you got the Cavs that are popping off. You've got the Guardians that are slated to have a very solid season. And then obviously next year with the Browns shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, you got a lot to look forward to as a Cleveland fan, which you guys probably haven't had a lot to say in that regard in a long time. Across the board, there's a lot of balance up there, so good for y'all. Third base, kind of took a flyer here on a young guy. I went with Bobby Witt Jr.
I love it. He's in my honorable mentions. You know how I feel about Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah. So we actually got to see Bobby Witt Jr. play as well. Up here, he came in with the Storm Chasers, playing the Clippers. I think it was right before he got called up. And this man hit a ball that was just like, you just knew he wasn't supposed to be playing at this level. You could just hear it. The sound of the bat just sounds different for guys that are on their way up to the big leagues. And this guy's got a lot of talent. He struggled a little bit last year. But I mean,
he's young, dude. He's 20.
He's so young.
He's 20.
So
He's 21 now. Yeah.
There's so much upside there. And that's why I've got him there. He's young. He's going to make those mistakes. You're going to make those mistakes as a 20-year-old in the league. Because there's not a lot of guys that get there that early.
No,
there's not a lot of guys that get there that early, which means he's extremely freaking talented. And he's got big things in his future. Love this kid at third base. He'll probably transition to middle infield once he gets his bearings. But right now, third base is a great spot for him, and I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, Kansas City's got a lot to work out. So I think they're in a position where they need to find out who is going to be their year-to-year all-star. And who's going to really it's been Salvador Perez and Whit Merrifield for all of the 2010s into the early 2020s. So now Merrifield's gone. Perez is actually, he's only 33, which seems ridiculous because he's been in the pros for forever, but he's getting towards the tail end of his career. I think he's going to probably DH his way out of baseball. But yeah, I talked about last year or a couple of years ago on this podcast, I talked about Bobby Witt Jr. for damn near 30 minutes. So you know how I feel
he was your rookie.
Guy.
He was like your young guy to watch coming up through, and now he's here.
He's here, and it's a great pick. It's a great pick. He's, like I said, he's in my honorable mention because my guy that I picked for third base is Jose Ramirez, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
I think I don't. Nobody's gonna sit here and argue with you.
No,
I wanted to try to be a little different here.
That's fair. I dig it.
No, Jose Ramirez is a great pick. You know what you're getting there. You know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
You're getting an all-star.
He's and even so. I was here. I want to share something with you real quick here because
you're getting 30 dingers and over 100 ribbies. Like it's just you just count it. Just put it on the board.
It's funny because a couple of years ago, it might have even been like maybe the year prior to the COVID year, people were really concerned about him because he had some injuries. His numbers kind of fell off. And then in the COVID year, he hit 17 home runs in like 50 games, just ridiculous. And then he's followed up with back-to-back years of, being in the MVP voting. Last year, he had a kind of a crazy year. I think he was second or third in RBIs, but
we love you, big dog.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you tuning in, buddy. We always appreciate you coming in here. This is
if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
This is where you fall in, Carp. This is where you have the most knowledge in the sports world. And fun fact, this is for you, Carp. I saw a dude at the gym this morning wearing a University of what's the school? Northwestern Ohio Northwestern. In Lima, I believe. I think Carp played baseball there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, saw that this morning and made me think of you. Appreciate you coming in here, man. You're a centerpiece to us getting a good laugh out of the podcast every once in a while.
Always.
So, but yeah, picking J-Ram career OPS of 857. That's nuts. It's just nuts. Career OPS 857. Yeah. Absolutely insane. If you're not talking about this dude being, one of the better hitters in baseball, you're nuts. Yeah. All right. So we're at shortstop now, right?
We are at shortstop.
So let me go first here because I think
who you got?
We're gonna vary here too. I went young. I went Wander Franco.
Okay. I love it.
I went Wander Franco. Obviously, getting the monster contract going into 2022. Caught some injuries early on, kind of into the All-Star break of last year. But in 83 games, only struck out like 30 times. That's a rare thing in today's game. Is a dude that just gets on base. Carl, thanks for liking the stream, man. Appreciate you.
What up, big dog?
But has hit damn near 280 in both of his short years at the major league level. is not going to completely blow your socks off with power. I don't think he's a big power guy, but I think he's a contact hitter, which is really rare in today's game. Plus glove and arm. Dude is an unbelievable defensive shortstop, third baseman, wherever you want to put him in the infield. He covers a ton of ground, has great speed, and he's only 22. So Tampa Bay has the opportunity to let him bolster his career and then trade him off to a big market and just get a fuck ton of money and picks for him, or just money, talent, whatever they want to do to backfill in 2025, 26 when they trade him. Wander Franco is a guy, to me, that'll be, I think this is my bold projection of the season. I think he'll be top 3 in MVP voting this year.
Oh, okay. No, I
really
love
do.
The pick. Love the pick. It's amazing. Like when I was going through my team, how much younger the American League is than the National League. I think it's a little lopsided, if I'm being honest. But my pick, I went with Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette was my pick. He's going to hit you 300. I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive on the base pass this year. I think he was like 60% on his like conversion percentage last year on stolen bases, somewhere in that ballpark. Which I don't know why he's not trying to steal more, but he's going to get it done with the glove. He's going to get it done with the bat. He's going to be consistent. But Bo Bichette's the guy I've got short. I said, I could have taken that entire Toronto infield and been completely satisfied.
You could have
my picks. But
his arm scares me, but yeah, I think if you're picking a guy to fill out a lineup, I'm willing to give up 25 errors for 30 home runs.
Yeah, he's gonna give me more than he's gonna lose me.
I agree.
So I like that's where I went with Bo Bichette. All right, let's hit the outfield. I don't know if we're really gonna have much of a difference here in the outfield.
Oh, I think we might.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit left field. I went with Yordan Alvarez.
Ooh, interesting. See, I think of him as a DH. So I put him in the DH category.
Okay, I like that. My DH is Shohei.
Yeah, of course. Let's just get it out of the way.
Because I didn't know where to put him.
Yep,
that's what I did too. I didn't know where to put him in the rotation. I didn't know if I was gonna, put him in the outfield or pitch him or whatever. I mean, you can do whatever with Shohei. So if him being a DH, he's flexible, so you can do whatever. So that's why he's kind of like my, Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Who do you got in left?
So my left fielder is actually Mike Trout's teammate and Shohei's teammate. It's actually Taylor Ward.
Ooh, okay.
I got Taylor Ward in the outfield here, and his first full real season at the major league level had an OPS at 833, 23 home runs, 281 batting average, 473 slugging. Is an outstanding top of the order guy, above average glove plus arm. Unfortunately, the Angels pitching still sucks, so it means absolutely nothing how many home runs that they're going to hit or how many runs they score a game. So, I'm going Taylor Ward.
Love it. Who do you have in center?
So for center field, I have Julio Rodriguez.
Okay.
From the Mariners. This dude is a for real 5-tool player. Unbelievable. He reminds me of Andrew McCutchen.
You can't really go wrong there.
That's it. I watch him play, and he reminds me of like prime Pirates Kutch, where you could hit the ball anywhere and he tracks it down. Plus average, plus power, plus speed. An unbelievable 5-tool player. He's my AL MVP this year. I think that he's a guy that will just continue to shock. And he's the captain of the Mariners, in my opinion. He's somebody who's going to lead them.
He's young too. He's really super young.
Yeah, lead them through the wild card. Probably, I'm assuming because the Astros win the AL West, but I'm assuming he gets him in the wild card. And I think the Mariners will surprise some teams in the playoffs this year. They're as well rounded as they've been since 1997.
Fair. This is kind of a homer pick for me. Like, this is like my last like hurrah for this guy. It's Mike Trout. I want this guy to stay healthy. I want this guy to have one good full season.
We're never going to see him play a full season again, dude. He's got that weird condition in his back. I I just don't know if we'll ever see him play more than 115 games a year.
I'm just hoping we get one full season from him. That's because this is really his last opportunity, in my opinion, to like have a good season.
Yeah,
the only reason he's on this list because there are better options. Honestly, he is well on his way down.
Yeah, he's going to swing down after this. You're right. This year is his.
This is it.
Where the pendulum is it going to go one way or the other? Is he going to have 2 more years to fill in, or is this going to be the other direction down?
Right, because I mean, if he doesn't do anything this year and he gets hurt again, I can see him just hanging it up.
I mean, which really sucks.
Yeah, a career that would be cut extremely short.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is like you can't DH him because you got Shohei, right? So the Angels have like kind of the Angels probably don't have Shohei after this year. Let's be real. He's going to go somewhere else and make $500 million
for sure. Well, they're gonna waste him like they wasted Trout.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Get out there and go win a ring, Shohei.
They haven't had I think they're like 7 years consecutive or 6 years consecutive of losing seasons now, and they've been top 10 in runs for like 4 of those 7 seasons. It's insane, bro. Absolutely insane. I'm assuming you and I have the same person in right field, right?
Yeah, it's Aaron Judge.
It's Aaron Judge, right?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
So
the man hit 60 home runs last year.
So I think the thing about Aaron Judge is that there's not a lot of guys in professional sports that have put years together in a contract year that demanded that you pay him as much as you humanly can, and he did that. And he completely earned my respect by doing that. He was healthy. He's a guy that, like, yes, he's not great defensively with the glove, but he could throw you out from the corner of right field at third base. Like, he just has that arm strength because he's 6'7", 260. Yeah.
Launcher attached to his shoulder.
Absolutely insane. Aaron Judge, top 3 player in baseball, position player in baseball, right? I mean, the Vegas favorite to be the American League MVP this year again. So
no shock.
You can't argue it. You can't argue his talent.
No shock there. Yeah, just watching this guy take BP, he's got a just a very compact swing for a big dude.
He does. His hands are so fast.
They are. It's amazing how quick he gets through the zone, and that's why he had so much success last year.
Yeah, his hands are almost as fast as Barry Bonds.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's insane.
I remember. So I saw this TikTok, and it was actually it was Tim Salmon, and it was when Barry Bonds hit a home run. I think it was like Yankee Stadium or something. It was somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but it was like he's like, that's the furthest ball I've ever seen hit in my life. And it was Barry Bonds, and he hit it like way up into the third deck, and it was just gone. Like, like that's the kind of bombs that they can hit, that he can hit, because he's 6'8" and he's monstrous, and he's got quick hands. It's stupid. Okay, so we both got the same DH. We got Shohei. Let's get into the rotation here. Who's leading off for you? Who's your numero uno?
Carlos Rodon of the New York Yankees, formerly of the San Francisco Giants.
Love that pick.
Unbelievable.
Love that pick.
Plus stuff. 4 to 6 pitch mix, depending on where you're at in the season. Great pitcher to weak contact. Can get you strikeouts. Taz liking the stream. What's up, Taz? How you doing?
What
brother?
Up, baby?
But is outstanding at pitching to contact, which again, that's kind of rare in today's game. It's mostly it's a strikeout game. But love Carlos Rodon. Interested to see what he's going to do in the pinstripes, though. New York's a tough city to play any professional sport in, so very interested to see where his career goes. And I mean, they paid him to be an all-star, so you better you're gonna fuck around and find out.
Yeah, for sure. So I got Jacob deGrom. He's gonna be leading me off. I think that's there's not really much you guys say about deGrom. He's one of the best to do it.
Unbelievable.
Absolute nasty.
Dude has had like 2 bad starts. I mean, he's been injured a lot, but he's had like 2 bad starts in 5 years.
He can stay healthy, man.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
He's unreal, dude.
He has some of the best lateral movement as a pitcher. Like, the ball has some of the best lateral movement I've ever seen, ever. His fastball moves laterally.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does down in Texas, though. It's going to be a little bit,
It's a
warmer
whole
weather.
different world.
It's a whole different ball game down there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Yeah, obviously, it's nice to see him get a little change, come out of New York, go to Texas. It's going to be less pressure. So we'll see. It could be a really great thing for him. I don't know how you can get better than what he does, but if he can, then it's going to be.
Shoo.
He'll be in line for a Cy Young. Second on my board, I kind of went with the homer pick here. Not really a homer pick, but it's Luis Castillo. He's going to be up in Seattle. I think he's going to have a lot of success up there. Coming off a solid season. And I just love Castillo. I love the pace that he pitches at. He's got some great movement. He just really commands the game really well. So I got Castillo coming in second there. Who do you got?
I actually have Shane McClanahan of the Tampa Bay Rays.
He is in my rotation, but he is not too, just because of health concerns.
That's fair. It's fair. 195 innings, strikeouts per 9 last year were almost 11. I just want to say that one more time. Strikeouts per 9 last year were almost 11.
He's nasty.
It's unbelievable what he's able to do when he's on.
Hey, Rob, what's up, baby? Good evening, sir.
Crazy, bro. I think here's the thing about Shane McClanahan that I appreciate the most, just based on kind of watching him over the last 2 years, is that he, obviously Tampa has some strong younger arms that have gone through the system with Glasnow, and now you have him talking about guys that just throw in the high 90s and just aren't afraid of it. They're not afraid of anybody, and it hasn't, knock on wood, it hasn't gotten McClanahan in trouble yet, but he'll stay 95 plus into the 7th and 8th inning if Tampa allows them. They do a lot of weird shit down there, a lot of backwards baseball down there, but I love him. I think he's a guy that, barring not throwing his arm out, he's a guy that could get a monster Garrett Cole-esque contract from somebody in the not so distant future. And I think is an ace of a rotation for several years. Yeah.
I mean, from 2021, I got his stats pulled up here. From 2021 to 2022, he lowered his ERA a complete point. His walk percentage went down 2%. He threw 50 more strikeouts. So his strikeout percentage went up 3% as well.
Yeah, and he had a sub 1 whip last year.
And he had a sub 1 whip.
That's nuts. That's a starter. That's insane. Yeah,
that's absolutely mind boggling. This guy's on my list. He was a little bit deeper in my rotation, but yeah, Shane McClanahan, this guy healthy. He's unbelievable. So just watch out for this guy. He could be lighting up the stat sheets here. If you play fantasy baseball, grab this man. He will win you some games. Next on my list, I've got Dylan Cease.
Ooh, great
Chicago White Sox.
One of the best sliders in baseball, if not the best slider in baseball, from Dylan Cease.
This dude is nasty. He was this close to a Cy Young last year. But Verlander.
No, thanks to Justin Verlander having a fucking career year, coming off of a neck injury or whatever he had, like an asshole. Goes out and has a Bob Gibson year at 37 or 38, however old he is.
I mean, the man's already got Kate Upton, and what else are you gonna do at 37? I'm gonna go fucking win a Cy Young because I'm fucking Justin Verlander.
Get out of here.
We're done with you. You've already got everything. Just leave.
Yeah.
Dylan Cease, this dude's absolutely nasty. He's still pretty young. Last year, just throw through his stats real quick. 1.11 whip, almost a 31% strikeout percentage.
That's insane.
That literally means that each inning he's getting a strikeout.
Yeah, that's exactly what that means. Every inning he's striking somebody out. 1 out of 3
batters are striking out. And that's ridiculous.
That's right.
He only gave up 16 homers last year, which in this league, that's insane. He went 14-8, which
the White Sox were bad.
The White Sox were bad. He still won 14 games. So if that tells you anything about what this guy,
Carpet's got a hog on him. He absolutely has to have. You throw a slider like that, you have to be packing. I think that's the rules. That's the rules of the world.
Yeah, Dylan Cease knows what's going on. We'll just put it that way. All right, Todd, I've got one more pitcher in my lineup. How about you?
Yeah, I'll go one more.
I've got 5.
Okay.
Did you do 4 or 5?
I did 4.
Did 4? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got one more. I wanted to throw him in there. I think he's going to have a great season. I saw him actually start last year when I went up to Cleveland. And that's Tristan McKenzie.
Ooh, I dig it. I love the young arm. Absolutely electric.
So I watched him last year in a start, and he was a little erratic. He was a little wild.
He had troubles with control early on in the year.
But when he placed, when he finally settled down and got under control, the way that he was able to navigate the strike zone was unbelievable for a kid, not only his age, but he just doesn't look like he could throw the ball. He is literally just skin and bones.
He's a 6'6", 155, 165.
6'6", he is just nothing. I don't even know where he gets the strength to throw the ball as hard as he throws it.
There's nothing to him.
There's nothing there. Wet. He's 160. Just coming out the pool was 160 pounds.
Yeah.
I love this kid. I think he's gonna have a good year.
Yeah, plus fastball for Tristan McKenzie and an excellent changeup, very similar to Luis Castillo. His out pitch is a changeup, which if that's your out pitch at the major league level, it's an electric pitch. My last guy to round out my rotation is Alek Manoah of the Toronto Blue Jays. I love the dude. For me, he's a swagger guy. That dude gets that on the mound. He's not going to wow you with what the numbers throw up on the screen. He's not going to throw 97, 98, 99.
He had a sub-1 whip last year.
He sure did. And
Good
the thing
Lord,
about
I didn't
Alek,
even realize that.
So Alek Manoah is today's kind of Greg Maddux style of pitcher. Whereas Maddux was in the mid 80s, pitching to contact, locating the ball well. Alek Manoah throws in the low to mid 90s and knows exactly where every pitch is going. I've listened to him talk on several different podcasts. And he said that his mentality as a pitcher is that he doesn't want to strike anybody out, and he only wants to throw 55 pitches in 9 innings. That's the way that he goes out and throws. So
yeah, he's throwing balls low in, trying to get you to ground out.
Yeah, Carp said it right. He has a closer mentality. He wants to be in and out of the diamond as fast as possible. And he talked about the kind of the changes in the game actually playing to his benefit because he's a pace guy. He's a speed guy. He likes to get out on the mound and get shit done. And I think Toronto is, again, if they can just put together a string of, if they can win 90 games this year, there's so much talent because you got Kevin Gossman in there. You still have Jose Barrios that they have on the back end of that rotation. Gosh, the guy from the Twins that was on the Dodgers, Maeda's in the back end of that rotation. There's so much talent there.
Justin, I told you, he's a walking encyclopedia of baseball. But no, I mean, you're absolutely right. And here's the thing, even if one of their starters has a bad outing, they have the ability to put up 8 to 10 runs in a baseball game because their lineup is absolutely juiced.
Yeah.
So Ryan said, man, off topic, but you remember the Farnsworth Wilson fight? Yes.
Bruh, have you seen what Kyle Farnsworth looks like now?
No.
Oh,
should I Google this?
Google it now. I want real-time reaction. Look at this current picture of Kyle Farnsworth.
Is it going to be like Eddie Lacy, or is it going to be like the opposite?
No.
Cracked out.
It's like Shea Weatherford from the fucking Giants.
Jesus Christ.
He's a fucking CrossFit athlete now.
He's so vascular.
It's insane. He's like 6'6".
Dude,
Farnsworth.
The dude's quads are just yoked.
Kyle Farnsworth was nasty when he was on the Cubs. You can actually
see all 4 muscles in his quad.
Carp, I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, I appreciate you bringing it up because since Bobby had never seen it, Kyle Farnsworth was one of those dudes. He was a 100 mile. Yeah, he was a 100 mile an hour pitcher before 100 mile an hour pitchers were around.
Yeah,
he was unbelievable. Yeah, and he beat the shit out of Justin Wilson. Great moment. Thank you for bringing it up, Carp. I think that dude
I'm not fighting that guy.
Farnsworth was just one of those guys too. He just was a fucking bulldog, man. There's not.
There
weren't
running
a lot of those guys out there
trying to fight Nolan Ryan. No, like it's just one of those decisions that you're like, this is a terrible decision, but I'm in it and I have to go now, I guess. So
yeah. You got any honorable mentions before we jump into the National League here? You got any guys that we didn't get to talk about?
I'm good. I didn't really have anybody outside of who I had mentioned that I was really looking forward to. But who do you have? Who are your honorable mentions?
So I got Kyle Tucker from the Astros. I think he's a guy that's going to also put together a good, long, healthy career. I think he's a guy that the Astros pay to keep too. 30-30 guy as well. I have Bobby Witt Jr. in honorable mentions, and then I have Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers is 23, and he's been in the league for 5 years. Or he's 24, and he's been in the league for 5 years. So, yeah, just a guy. I mean, and the Red Sox paid him very handsomely to stick around. So, I like Rafi Devers. I think he's a guy that if you look at him, he's actually starting to look more like an adult versus like 3 years ago. He still had like baby fat in his cheeks. He's actually a grown man now, so I think you're going to see him. I think he's a 40 home run guy this year. That's my prediction for him.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, I wasn't exaggerating with my reaction. The dude is absolutely yoked.
Justin, you're right. Kyle Tucker's playing for the sub between the Aaron Judge and Mike Trout, kind of that similar Bryce Harper style contract. He's one of the reasons why they won the World Series last year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's in a put up or shut up year too. So look for him to be a $50 million a year guy, $45 million a year guy. It'll be nuts.
Yeah, it's the one thing that always blows my mind is just the way that baseball works is like financially as opposed to other sports. It's just
guaranteed contracts, baby.
So I saw an interesting idea. I want to know your thoughts on this. I don't know if you've heard any of this, but I think it was Ben Verlander that threw this out there. I was watching his TikTok page. Yeah, I just kind of got in a vault there and started scrolling, and it was all good shit. But he was like, instead of there being a salary cap, there should be a salary floor. Like you've got to spend X in order to own a Major League Baseball team, to put a competitive team on the field.
So to alleviate like the Pirates, the Reds, the Guardians, those teams, you got to pay. Exactly. You got to pay to play.
It's for people like us who want to see them put money towards players and put a good product on the field.
Interesting. I'm not against it. I think that's one of those things that we would all love to have happen, but at the end of the day,
it's only small market teams that are concerned with the salary floor, though.
Yeah,
like the big market teams, who gives a fuck? They already spend $1 billion a year on their roster.
Yeah, they're exceeding it with 5 players. Right,
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love for there to. I think that's the elementary way of getting baseball more fair across divisions and across franchises, but you're never going to get every owner on board with. That's the problem. I love the idea of it. I love the presentation of it.
It's an idea, and that's all that it is. It'll never come to fruition as long as Rob Manfred's there, and obviously owners like the Castellini family. This is for you guys. Love you. All right, let's shift gears. Let's head to the NL. We're gonna start from top down like we did. Ooh, excuse me. All right, catcher. Todd, lead us off. Who you got?
I got JT Realmuto. Unbelievable. Okay. Unbelievable defensive catcher. And
I like it.
Plus hitter.
You can't go wrong there. You can't go wrong with JT Realmuto. But one thing I will say is I think you're forgetting about one guy.
Who am I forgetting about?
And that's Tyler Stevenson.
Oh, see, here's the thing is that I don't know if Tyler Stevenson is going to be a full-time catcher this year, bro.
Tyler Stevenson, per David Bell, is going to be playing 150 games this year.
That doesn't mean he's going to catch 150 games, though.
Tyler.
No, I agree with you. I want him. So he's in my honorable mention because I think that Tyler Stevenson is a guy that can hit 30 home runs and knock in 100 people.
If he catches 150 games, I think the Reds have a much better chance of being successful this year.
I think if he's in the lineup for 150 games, you're right, because I think he's going to play first base. I think you're going to see a rotation of Will Myers, Tyler Stevenson, and Joey Votto playing first base this year.
Okay.
They go out and get Will Myers for $7-8 million, whatever they got him for. Their outfield is bad. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. I think that you're not going to get Nick Senzel for a full season. He's never done it. I don't even know if he can physically.
I think he just needs to retire at this point.
You have Jake Fraley, who you got in the Jesse Winker deal. You have TJ Friedl, who got to play last year, who's a product. I think he'll get some time. He should get a lot of at-bats. He should be the Reds' leadoff hitter, if I'm being honest. You're going to get Will Myers out there. Then you're going to see a sprinkle of all these younger guys that are kind of almost MLB ready for playing in the outfield too. But I agree with you. If Tyler Stevenson can play 150 games, perfect. That's why the Reds went out and got Kirk Casale and Luke Manley, so they could do that, so that Tyler Stevenson could play more. Because I don't think you'll see Joey Votto play first base a lot this year. I just don't. I think he's going to DH.
Yeah, and I think at this point in Votto's career, I think that's a great role for him. He's a great contact hitter. He hits for average. I think the biggest thing that he's going to bring to the Reds this year is that leadership, that veteran presence. That's why I almost had him in my lineup. I don't have Joey Votto in my lineup. He's in my honorable mentions section. Because I think there's a lot that he has to offer outside of a playing presence that brings a lot of value to a team. But at this point, it doesn't make sense. But I love Tyler Stevenson. I think Tyler Stevenson is going to be a hell of a player. I would just love for him to get some more playing time at the plate. I think he calls a nice game as well. So
I do too. I think people are going to be disappointed in a couple years when the Reds trade him.
I mean, as they always do.
Because he's going to put together, I think this year, next year, he's going to put together back-to-back really strong years, and Cincinnati's going to fall in love with him, and he's going to be so valuable that the Reds will have no choice but to trade him. They're not going to be able to pay him, or they won't be willing to pay him.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They always do it. It's predictable, and it's at this point, it's you're just kind of grow to expect it.
Yeah, I love Tyler Stevenson. I love his character. I love how immediately he was talented at the major league level. I think that he's a big bat speed guy. He's great at turning on the ball. He has good right center field power as well, where he's good at inside outing the ball. So I hope he could stay healthy. He had a lot of injuries last year. He had a couple concussions. He had some knee and ankle problems. And as a 6'3", 6'4" catcher like he is, that's kind of a part of the position.
Tough. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Right. Carp says he's got De La Cruz at short. We'll get to short here in a little bit.
We're going to find out. I think he's saying that Cruz is going to play shortstop this year for the Reds. I think we're going to find out. You're going to see him this year for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sorry, I kind of got in the zone of just doing all right. First base. Who do you got?
I got Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, okay, cool. Anything else we need to say about Freddie Freeman outside of we love Freddie Freeman? And
no, I can't wait to see him in Canton.
He's a great baseball player.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him in Canton. Cooperstown. Sorry, Cooperstown.
I was gonna say, did
he switched sports? Yeah.
Did he hit the combine? Last weekend. And by the way, I can't even remember his name. The edge rusher that ran a 4.39.
Nolan Smith.
I mean, does it get any more scary to play in the NFL?
6'3", 250, running a sub 4.40.
I mean, if you're on the offensive side of the ball, you're fucking terrified.
You have no idea. Well, all you can do is size him up. That's it. So it's your only option. You got to push him, and you got to push him hard off the ball.
That man's gonna wreck some people, and I'm looking forward to it.
I agree.
All right, second base. I've got Jonathan India.
Okay.
Love Jonathan India. He had a fantastic season last year. Those are my only two homer picks. I had Tyler Stevenson and Jonathan India. There's obviously some better options in the National League at second base, but Jonathan India, he's going to get it done in the field. What you're getting at the plate as well. He's a great young talent. The Reds probably won't have him much longer.
He's got to stay healthy, bro. Got to stay healthy. Injuries killed him last year. Had a great rookie year. Injured a ton. Struck out a ton because he wasn't getting the at-bats. But, yeah, I look for him to have a nice comeback. Comeback 2023 season.
This is going to be a rebound year for him. But who do you have at second?
I actually have Jazz Chisholm of the Miami Marlins as my second baseman. I think that this guy has the opportunity to be the kind of the face of baseball based on his personality. He's great in the community. He's great as a that's a Tennessee comment there if I've ever seen one. Jonathan India went to the University of Florida, Bobby, if you weren't aware of that. That's where that comes from.
I picked up on that.
Yeah. Jazz Chisholm. Yes, he supposedly he's going to play center field. I have him as second base until I see him in the outfield. I've seen the speculation of the Marlins kind of moving some things around. They have a ton of young talent. I actually wanted to go through that. So, Justin, thank you for prompting me on doing that. Because I have a couple of guys from that team in my honorable mention as well. But they went out and got Luis Arias from the Twins, where they're thinking that he could potentially play second base, because they also went out and got Joey Wendell and Gene Segura, who could play third base and short, and you got to have Jazz Chisholm in the lineup. I've also seen where Luis Arias is the DH and Jazz Chisholm plays second base. I've seen where Joey Wendell's the DH and Jazz Chisholm plays second, Gene Segura plays short, blah, blah, blah. I can go through and through on that. But they have Jorge Soler as well, so it's all going to depend on if he can hit over 200. But until Jazz Chisholm lines up in the outfield on opening day, I got him as my second baseman for the time being. I love what he's able to do, just personality-wise, talent-wise. I think he's still developing. I think that he's got some room to grow as a contact, creating more contact at the plate. But I like him a lot. I think that he's a guy that we're going to be saying his name a lot for a long time in baseball because he's going to find his niche in there.
Hell yeah. No, we'll definitely dig into that Marlins roster here in a little bit. But third base, we're gonna shift gears there and head to third base here. Third base, I've got my guy from the good old ATL. I've got Austin Riley.
I take it. I got Austin Riley as well, man.
Yeah, I mean,
unbelievable year last year.
Kid's beast.
30-30 machine.
Yeah. No, I mean, just pulling up what he did last year. He's gonna give you around 300. Slugging, OPS is 875.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, at OPS, that's like anywhere within 200 points of 1,000 is ridiculous. And he's literally 125 points away from 1,000, that's for a season.
Yeah,
the whole season. That's not just a stretch. That's 162 games. The kid is extremely talented. Atlanta's got a ton of talent, and it shows you why they got to where they got, in the last couple of years. They've done a great job of developing that home talent. And Freddie Freeman's one of those products. Freddie Freeman is an older version, an older model of that product, but still playing at a high level. And it just shows you how great Atlanta is at developing talent. And there's a lot of teams that could learn from what Atlanta does in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Austin Riley is if he's not a household name, if he should be, but he will be after. He will be now. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Shortstop. We're gonna head to the wonderful city of Chicago. I've got Dansby Swanson.
Ooh, interesting. I actually have Mr. Trey Turner.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trey Turner's the obvious pick. I went Dansby. Dansby got his first Gold Glove last year. He's an excellent defender, and he's gonna get you 275, 280 at the plate. He's gonna get on base and get it done for you. I think Dansby Swanson's got a big upside. Trey Turner obviously is probably the best shortstop in the National League. Not going to argue that, but I think Dansby Swanson has a lot to offer. I love the defensive presence that you get from him, and that's why I went with him.
It's fair. I just think Trey Turner is a guy that we are just getting. His time in Washington, he was excellent, right? I mean, one of the fastest guys in the game. Big glove at shortstop, above average hitter. He is maybe 8 home runs away from being an MVP. Like last year, he's right there.
Talented.
Yeah, he's right, and now he's in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, obviously, coming off of making it to the World Series last year, he's in an organization where he's got the opportunity to put up, and that fan base will.
All right, how good is your knowledge about where baseball players went to college?
Whew.
I know basketball. You're really good at it, but I didn't know.
Are you asking me where Dansby Swanson went?
I was going to challenge you and ask you where Trey Turner went to college. Oh, we lost Todd.
All right, sorry.
You're back. Okay.
Where Trey Turner went to college?
Where Trey Turner went to college.
Can you give me a East Coast?
East Coast.
Is it a Power 5 school?
No.
It's
close to a Power 5 school.
That doesn't help me either. Would the state give it away?
Yes.
Fuck. Geographically, if it's on the East Coast, is it like
the middle of the coast? Not
Maryland?
top, not bottom, but in the middle.
Maryland?
No, that's not the middle. That's like the top.
It's in the middle. That's right. It's just
he went to North Carolina State.
North Carolina State.
Yeah, that's where Trey Turner went to college. North Carolina State.
And like where Russell Wilson went, like NC State Wolfpack. That's who you're talking about. That's a Power 5 school.
North Carolina State. That's it. Oh yeah, I guess it is Power 5.
Yeah, they're in the ACC.
I don't often see it spread out like that. Usually it's NC State. Think about it.
No,
I'm an idiot.
That's okay. You confused me. I did not know that. That it's really baseball is very hard to track down colleges because most of the time you have you're right. I won't ever forget it now. But most of the time you have 2/3 of the players in today's game are never even went to college.
True. All right. So we rounded out our infield. Great team so far. We'll start with left field. Who do you got in left?
I got Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks, baby.
I thought about that. I went a different route though.
Boy's a dog. That's my NL Rookie of the Year.
Okay. I went with a guy that had one of the best seasons of his career because he stayed healthy, and that was Kyle Schwarber.
Schwarbombs, baby. I got him in
bombs.
I actually have him in the DH spot.
And that's a great spot for him. Honestly, it's a great spot for him. But I do love him in the field though. I think he does a nice job in the outfield. I've got somebody different in my DH spot. It's kind of an homage. I got Schwarbombs. I love what he was able to do when he was healthy, and I look for him to continue that. Philly has an outstanding team this year. I mean, it just continues to get better.
Yeah.
So interested to see where they end up as we get post All-Star break and into it. Center field.
Michael Harris II from the Atlanta Braves, reigning NL Rookie of the Year.
I also have Michael Harris II in center field.
How can you not?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Carp's just rattling off where these dudes went to. I don't think Corbin Carroll went to UCLA though, did he?
I will tell you here in just a second.
He got drafted out of high school, I thought, but I think he did commit to UCLA though.
It does not show a college for him.
Yeah, he's a UCLA guy, and then of course Schwarbombs being a Middletown, Ohio local, as we've heard a bajillion times.
Yeah,
Carp and I both got the opportunity to play against him. I played against him at least twice in my lifetime. I'm sure Carp played against him a few more times than I did because I think he might be he might be a year younger than Carp, or he might have graduated the same year as Carp. I can't remember off the top of my head.
But either way, he absolutely yoked one against both of you. I know he did.
I never pitched against him.
Oh, okay.
I pitched against Andrew Benintendi, but never.
How'd that go?
I don't. I think he got a double or something. I don't know. He played for Midland, which was. I had no business pitching against a team that good. And he was. I think he was.
For some reason, Midland was always stacked.
Midland, as you get older, as you get into the high school, they recruit nationally too. So they get basically some of, I don't know, I'm sure it's changed some now, but at least when 15 years ago when we played, it was a little bit different. Yeah. But Carp, you're right. He was not the talent in high school as he was now. He got to Indiana and absolutely exploded. I thought when he was playing, I actually thought he was a better football player than he was a baseball player. He was a very good inside linebacker.
I could see that. He's built that way.
Yeah, very good inside.
Yeah, he's built like a truck. Right field.
Ronald Acuna Jr.
I got Mookie.
Yeah, one and the same.
Yeah, I don't really think you can argue either way.
Nope.
Acuna
Both
Mookie,
MVP talent.
I think we each have good picks there. I love that there's so much discrepancy.
There's a ton of young talent in the National League.
And you know what the shitty part is nobody knows about all this. You know why? Because the MLB doesn't promote their shit.
No, they don't.
It's terrible. There's so much fun stuff that's happening in the MLB right now, and nobody's aware of it because they just suck at marketing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, Carp. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you or Todd on the Acuna pick. I mean, he's incredible. I like Mookie Betts better.
It's fair. I'm not going to argue with you, dude. Dude is a year-over-year All-Star, reigning MVP as well. If I'm not mistaken.
For show.
All right, we're in the rotation now, right?
We are in the rotation.
Coming up on an hour and a half. So this is a good way to cap it off.
Yeah, we'll get into the rotation here, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, I will start. I've got leading me off in my 5-man rotation. I've got Mr. Corbin Burns.
Yeah, ace of the National League, best starting pitcher in the National League right now.
You just hate Mookie? I mean, I get it.
That's probably because Mookie went to Vanderbilt.
Probably.
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, Corbin Burns, just absolute monster. I don't really know if there's it's him and then the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame the whole thing that came out with like his arbitration deal with the Brewers, where they like blamed him for not making the playoffs when he was.
The last 2 seasons, he has had a sub-1 WHIP 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah,
where he started 30 games.
Look at his decrease in walks over the last 2 years to prior to that too.
Yeah, 2020 he had a walk percentage of 10%. In 2021 he cut it in half to 5.18.
Yeah,
and then was consistent, went up to 6.4% in 2022. But yeah, I mean let's see here. His strikeout percentage over the last 2 years, his average is 33%.
He's insane, dude. He's insane.
Yeah, I mean he's your ace in the National League, 100%. I don't think there's really arguing that. Who do you have in your second spot?
I have Spencer Strider from the Atlanta Braves.
Okay. He is in my rotation. He's just not number 2.
It's fair. That dude, he's another guy like Shane. He's very similar to Shane McClanahan. Carp, you're right. He ended up not going to Vanderbilt. He was committed to Tennessee. I was thinking of somebody else. But Spencer Strider throws like 97 to 100. Great mustache. I think that should just be noted, just as a general comment. He has a great mustache. But just also another guy just developing his game, his his repertoire at the major league level. Again, Atlanta just does a great job of breeding talent. And Spencer Strider is, to me, is one of the best young overall arms in the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, yeah, definitely on my list. I have Sandy Alcantara in my second spot.
Yeah, he's in my third spot, so not
Okay.
far off.
Yeah, so yeah, we're right there. This is a man. He's not going to really blow you away with a ton of strikeouts. His percentage, it's somewhere in the 20s, a little bit lower than the top guys, but he's consistent, man. He's going to go in there. You know exactly what you're getting. He's going to give you
He's an
quality
innings
starts.
eater.
Yeah, he's going to give you quality starts, and he's going to get it done for you at the end of the day. So love Sandy Alcantara down there in Miami. Hopefully, he can get a little bit more run support this year and get a couple more wins on the board. Third in my rotation, I got Scherzer. Scherzer still rounds out, my lineup in the National League. I think the pitch clock is going to benefit him extremely well this year. We've already seen some of that in spring training. I think it's only going to make him better. That's why I've got Max Scherzer in there. He's been consistent throughout his whole career, and I think he continues to do that. Maybe even has a step up, with the way that he's going to be able to pace games this year with that pitch clock and make hitters uncomfortable and kind of force the action a little bit quicker than batters would like. So I think he's already figured out the pitch clock, Ryan. Exactly. And I think that's if once pitchers can figure that out, it's going to make them more dominant. And we're going to have to figure out something on the offensive side to kind of counteract it and balance it back out. But
I got Scherzer and Verlander wrapping mine up.
Okay. I went with the homer pick. I put Nick Lodolo rounding out my 5.
Ooh, yeah. I think you're onto something there. I think he will have the most sustainable success between him and Hunter Green.
Yes, I like Hunter Green, but I like Nick Lodolo more. I think as a Reds fan, this is the guy that you're going to want to watch and be excited about. He's gonna have the more complete season between Green and Lodolo. So this is just kind of me hoping that he's
you're manifesting.
In this fantasy world where he's surrounded by the other 4 starters, he'd be able to pick their brains and just become a dominant force for Cincinnati.
You're manifesting things.
Yeah,
here,
we're trying to manifest a little bit.
Yeah, I like it. Look, here's the thing: is that
out of the world.
If the Reds are doing anything, I think the top 3 pieces of the rotation with Hunter Green was named the opening day starter today, so it goes Hunter Green, Lodolo, and then Graham Ashcraft. There is certainly something there. So I like Nick Lodolo. I mean, he's drafted in the first round twice, right? Went right into the Reds organization, coming off off a College World Series win with TCU. Big left-handed arm. He had a hard time with control last year. I think that's the thing that really killed him early on. But towards the end of the year, he started figuring out how to take care of business. I like him a lot. I said the same thing when we talked about him a couple of years ago too. I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, it should be a fun thing to watch if you're a Reds fan. Hopefully we'll see. We got a really, really young rotation this year. It's going to be interesting to see. Expect the worst.
We expect to see 45 players again on a 26-man roster for the Reds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? They've set themselves up to this is a test. These next 2 years are tests. You're figuring out what you got, what you can do, what you can deal. Right? We talked about it a lot with these young guys they brought in. Obviously, trading Sonny Gray last year. Brought them Spencer Steer from the Twins, which turned out to be so far a good thing for the Reds. Between Tyler Naquin and Tommy Pham and Castillo and all these guys that they traded last year, they got Novelli, Marte, and Encarnacion Strand, and Ellie De La Cruz is a top 10 prospect in baseball now. If you're not following his journey, he'll be the Reds starting shortstop by June. I think they'll start the year with who's the guy they signed for the Pirates, Kevin Newman, and then you'll see De La Cruz in a Reds uniform this year. But yeah, I like the top end of the Reds rotation. All 3 of those guys have the ability to be 12 to 15 game winners.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. If you're a Reds fan and you're watching this, we are all in for an interesting ride this year. Most likely, Expect the worst.
Yeah.
Expect
Why don't
the worst.
we do a Reds episode next week?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do a Reds episode next week.
Yeah, we'll dig into everything Reds. Yeah, we'll give our predictions for the season. As far as record, who's going to shine, who's going to not do so well, who we project to be dealt at the All-Star break, all the things that Reds,
all the fun stuff,
all the stuff that the Reds typically do. We'll do the over/under for wins like we did last year.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll do an all Cincy episode next week. So be ready for that. Carp, Pops, thanks for swinging through. Everybody that stopped in tonight, J. Rob, Tez, you guys are awesome. We appreciate everybody coming by and liking the video. Todd, you got anything else?
No. I appreciate you putting together your all-star lineup for the week. This was fun getting the baseball juices flowing again. I'm hungry for baseball again. It's been a while. I was a scorn lover last year for sure. With what happened so early on in the season, it really spoiled baseball for me for most of the year, but I'm trying to put the past in the past, freshen up, take care of business. So
absolutely. Well, obviously we're getting back into it. We appreciate everybody coming out. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week and weekend. We will see you guys on Wednesday. We got Corey and Aaron going live with Generous Degenerates. Then we'll be back with you Thursday for the Cincinnati Reds projections for 2023. You guys have a great weekend. Peace.